Hello everybody, this is a short tutorial on how to put together a pasta video. One of my friends asked me to do this. So to save time, I already picked out a short story. I haven't read through it fully, so hopefully it won't be too bad. And up here are two programs which we will be using. The first one that we will be using is called Audacity, and this one does the audio, which I usually make it a smaller windowed version so that I can do that. And I usually bring up this next to it so that I have them both so that I can kind of keep track of it over here while I'm reading over here. So, firstly what we will do is we will record the audio for the short pasta that I'm going to use for this tutorial. So this is the record button, and then you just hit record when you're ready, and then you record what you want, and then when you're done you hit the stop button, which will stop the recording. Now, when you're done recording, I'm going to close that down because I don't really need that. What I do when I get done recording is I always crop off the last second, because that's why I leave a space there, because when you hit the end button, sometimes it registers the click in the sound. So what I do before I do anything else is I go to File, Export, and then I always save it in my videos. So we're going to do... That's how I do mine, is usually the first edit. And then this is just stuff like if you want to put in your artist name or whatever. I don't. Usually I just hit OK or enter again, which is usually what I do so that it does that. When it's a longer clip, that little bit will show up, which will go away as soon as it's done exporting. When it's a really short clip, that usually doesn't pop up because it doesn't have time to. Now the reason why I wait, this is actually, I didn't wait very long on this one because I'm just doing a quick tutorial for you guys, but I usually try to wait anywhere from like 7 to 10 seconds before I start the recording, because you're going to need this space here to do the background noise removal. As you can see, there's like little scragglies here, which usually shouldn't be, but my mic's also turned up for this. Anyways, you go to Effect, you go down to Noise Removal after you have selected a good chunk of you not talking, so there's just dead air to show the background noise. You click Get Noise Profile, and then it reads this right here. It has read that to say, okay, this is background noise. So I do Control A, which will select the whole audio, and then you go back to Noise Removal and then hit OK. Now what you'll need to do is tweak with the number settings here, which I'm not going to mess with mine because it's set exactly how I personally need it. It's different for different microphones, for different people's voice pitches, and if you want a preview, you can select part of it and then you preview, and then it'll pop up. Have you ever been taking a shower? So it only plays a short couple seconds on that. So then you hit OK, and then it will work for a bit. The longer that your audio is, the longer it will take to do the noise removal. And then there you can see the stuff's usually gone. So then when you go through it now, there's not a background noise, which would be very faintly heard, which there's pretty much nothing. Have you ever been taking a shower while alone in the house? And again, now, the next thing that I do is after I've done that, I usually export it again, because I've had a problem with, well, I haven't had a problem, but back in school I was taught, when you're working on a large project, save, save, save. In case the program crashes on you or freezes and you have to force shutdown, you don't lose a bunch of work that you've done. So, next thing that I do Let's see, I'm going to take out a few seconds of that because I don't need that big of one. Now, what I do is you go to Tracks, Add New, Stereo Track, and that'll pop down a second one. And this, I usually put the audio down because this way it'll be a lot quieter than the narration. And this one, and here is where I'm going to put the music to accompany the narration. Now, if I wanted to do a sound effect, like say when we were narrating, if you hear claws on the tile floor, if I have a audio of claws on the tile floor, then I would put that in there. I'm not going to do the sound effects on this one. I might do a separate video later on of that. But now what I have is, it's usually my iTunes is where I do this, but I'm just going to go into my music instead of like previewing in iTunes because we're just going to pull one out to use it. Now this is where I keep all of my music, and I get my music from Incompetech.com. The link for that is in this video description so that you can go there as well. They have a ton of royalty-free music that you can download and use. Now, let's go with how long is the audio. I usually check to see how long it is as well. So I go to the end, so you can see up here. Oh, looks like it's just over 2 minutes. So, something that is over 2 minutes in length, and I have it ordered by length. So, let's see here. We can go with Sneaky Snitch or one of these. Let's go with Static Motion. And what I do is I right-click Open with Audacity, and it will open the file, and then I do Control A to select all, and then I Control C to copy. We don't need that up anymore. And then I go back to the original. Make sure that your thing, it'll show right here, the little hand thing, and that's going to tell you that that's where it is. Then you do Control V, and that will place the music into it. I'm going to take out that little bit there. And then what I'm going to do is hit the play button to preview to see how the music sounds behind it. Have you ever been taking a shower while alone in the house? And if you upload it, if you up the sound of the music, then it will be louder. Have you ever been taking a shower while alone in the house? And now, one other thing that I want to point out is the ending with the music. Now, I personally feel that with the ending, it is extremely important not to have your music run on, like see how it's very long afterwards. Don't let it do that, please, because nobody wants, 2.5 minutes of music after the story has ended. They're not gonna, they might stick around for it, or they might get annoyed. So, I'm sorry if you hear talking in the background, my neighbors are noisy. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crop it to about here. And now what I did was I placed, here, I'll do that again so I can show you. What I do is I click down here so that it sets my point down here. And then I take my bar back over here, and then I hit Shift, and then I click where I want it. So all of that is connected. Then I go up here to the scissors, which cuts out that portion. Now, my mark is right here. And instead of just having the music cut off quickly, like here, listen to this, it'll notice. See how it just stops. Now, what I will do is, because I will put my mark there, and then I do it about here. So this portion is now selected. You go to Effect, Fade Out, and it will fade out the music gradually so that it's not a sudden cutoff. It'll notice. Which is a lot better. It makes it sound better. It's more professional in my opinion. Now, once you've done this, export again. Save it. And now the audio portion of it is done. Now, there's the other program that you're going to be using is called Windows Movie Maker. And for this is where the visual portion comes in. Now, I've got a whole mess of pictures, creepy stuff that I use. I'm going to use this picture because it's just a drain thing. It's a picture that I took it somewhere out in public. Now, what I used to do before I had an outro is I would put in the title thing, and then I would delete the file thing on the bottom. So now what you do is you click on it, and then you just push the delete button on your keyboard. And what I would do is I would change the duration to 4 seconds. So this part here is only 4 seconds long. And then this one, usually what I do is I over-exaggerate the amount, the duration that it's going to be. So I will put in 300 seconds, which is going to be more than enough for the time, because it'll be like 5 minutes. Now, you can either have it so that it would go straight from black into the picture, or you can use animations where it would do something like this, or it could dissolve, or the common one is just fade in. You can do like lines, speckle bits. Let's do the speckle bits, alright? Now, back to home, and I vary from where the audio will start. It's usually on your own, desire of what you want to do. You go to add music at current point. You go into the file where you have saved your audio. Then you can see here, this is my shower one. You click open, and it will pop it up, and this line down here is how long the audio is. Now you've got all this dead space at the end. So what you do is you click just after it. You go over here to the video tools, hit set end point, and it will crop it for you. Then what I also do is I add a credits bar. Again, you delete the text file on the thing, because you don't need the text unless you want to say, the end. And then I go into the animations, and we will have it same thing again. And I'm sorry if you guys heard that strange noise. I don't know what that was. That scared me. Anyways, so let me make sure that's it's still recording properly. Okay, so then here, and then it will just be the fade out of the story, and then it just fades out into the end. Now with the black thing, again, what I do is I usually make it about 4 seconds so that it's not too long. And then here you have a very basic thing, so then it will start out like this, and then it goes into the story.
Have you ever been taking
and it sounds like my sound
alone
card
in the
malfunctioned during this. That's probably what that noise was, if you heard it, and I'm sorry about that noise. I'll have to fix that later on. Okay, which means you're probably only, if it recorded, it might only be the sound from one ear now for you guys. It's not your speakers, it's mine. My sound card is crap. Now, what I do, when you're done with this, you save movie as, and then you find a thing to put it in, which I usually have a creepypasta folder. And then what I do is I select Windows Media Video File, which you can leave it on this other one because it's like an MP4 basically, but so either one that you want to do, it doesn't matter. As you can see, I have stuff that popped up because that's what it is. So I'll call it shower, and then you hit save, and then it will export. The longer the video, the longer it will take to export. And then once it's exported, you go into YouTube, go to your upload, and then you just upload. And that is my personal process of how I do stuff. Usually it doesn't take this quick because I wasn't really paying attention as much to detail. It was just like a really quick thing for you guys to see. And once this is finished exporting, I'm just going to end up deleting the file anyways. So, there you have it. And I hope this worked out for you all. And in the future, I may do a tutorial on adding audio sound effects if you guys want, which it's not really much different than adding in the music and the same concept for the. I can also teach you how to do a collaboration with someone else, like if they send you audio, I can show you how to put that in there as well. So leave a comment if you want to see either of those. And I hope this helped you out, and I'm sorry if you already knew how to do all of this. I'm not sure why you're still watching this to the end, but hello, and thanks for watching anyways. And yeah, that's pretty much the rest of the thing. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. Bye.